I've been living in Belarus for 1 year now, and in May, beginning of May, I decided to go visit my parents in Idaho and my friends in California. So I was gone for about 3.5 weeks, and in those 3.5 weeks, I did notice that there's some differences between the United States and Belarus. So this video will be the top 5 differences that I noticed while visiting the United States. Enjoy. Okay, so number 5, restaurants. So I'm not talking about any restaurants. I'm talking about restaurants that are in the center or a downtown. So, high-end restaurants, with quality waiters or waitresses or food servers, if you want to just call them food servers. So, in Boise, okay, downtown Boise, they have really nice restaurants. Everybody is friendly. The hostesses are friendly. The waiters, the waitresses are friendly. The service is good. The quality of the food is good. But one thing I did notice is the food is very, very salty. Living in Belarus for the past year, they don't salt their food as much. So when I went back to the United States, it was very, very noticeable. Very noticeable. And the portions were probably 2 times of what we get here in Belarus. So, the price is 3 times more expensive. And, you're expected to tip when you're in the United States. And typically, it's supposed to be 10% if it was poor service, 15% if it was average, and if it was good or great, 20% or more. But what I did notice is when you got the bill, it did suggest the percentage of tips, and it gave you a choice. You could choose 20, 25, or 30. They did offer a customize where you can actually choose the percentage. But I thought it was quite funny that they recommended 20, 25, and 30. And they included the tax. So if the bill was $20 just for the food, 20, and it was another $3 or $4 in tax, they would do the percentage of the percentage of the price of the food plus the tax. So it'd do it on $23 or $24. So, you could, if your bill is like say $100, just food, typically you would tip $20. So now it would be $30 or $40 because they're adding the tax on there and they're suggesting a higher tip. So I think that was quite funny. Now back here in Belarus, they do have high-end restaurants. Matter of fact, some of the restaurants they look a lot nicer than in the United States because it's more modern, and they kind of overdo it. But the service is horrible, right? So you could actually walk into a restaurant and it'll be like, say, 5:30 in the afternoon, like on a Thursday, and you'll see all the tables, they'll be reserved. And these tables are reserved for 7, 8 o'clock, 6:30. And, we come in at 5:30, they won't let you sit down. They won't let you take a table because it's reserved at 7 o'clock. And you tell them, oh, well, I'll be done by 6:30. No, it's not possible. It's not possible. So that's a little irritating to me. Also, when you order, okay, so you're supposed to get the food. Let's say you're with your girlfriend or your friend, and you order the food at the same time. Okay, you're supposed to get each meal at the same time so you can enjoy your meal with your friend. All right, but a lot of the times here in Belarus, only one person will get their dish, and then the other person has to wait 10 or 15 minutes, and you complain, and it doesn't matter. They don't understand. So the service is horrible. It's horrible. But you don't have to tip, right? So if your bill comes out to, and it's 1/3 of the price that it is in the United States, okay, you don't have to tip. And when you ask the tip, a lot of them say, "Oh, it's not possible. You got to do a separate transaction." And I go, "That's fine. I'll do a separate transaction." So typically, what I'll do is I'll tip 10% if they're good. Now, I can say that there are some waiters or waitresses that get it here in Belarus, and so they give really good service, right? But it's rare, right? But if I do get good service, I will tip 25%, just because I really appreciate the effort that they put in. So there you go. Number 4, gas prices. So here in Belarus, the price of gas is consistently right around $2.20, $2.30. It doesn't fluctuate that much up or down, just because we get the gas directly from Russia at a very, very good price. But in the United States, so when I went to go visit Idaho, the average gas prices for the United States as a whole is about $3.80. So it varies from state to state. Now, in the state of Idaho, it's right around $3.80, right? It's right about the average for the United States. So it's still high. I would prefer, I remember during COVID, it dropped down as low as $1.40 at Costco in Massachusetts, which is unbelievable. And then it slowly crept up. Then when Biden got in, it just went skyrocketed, right? So it's right around $3.80 in Idaho. Now, I also went and visited my friends in California. Now, California is I think it's the highest in the United States. And in Sacramento, I was seeing the gas right around $5.50. And then when I went to Lake Tahoe, now I was on the California side. I went to Kings Beach, right on Lake Tahoe, and the gas was, for unleaded, was $6.19, and it went up as high as over $7 if you got Supreme. So it's just crazy. So I don't have a car right now, so it doesn't affect me. Well, it did affect me in the United States because I had a rental and I was, filling up my tank. But here in Belarus, I don't have a car yet, so it's not affecting me. But I will here in the next month. So, anyways, price of gas in the United States, horrendous. Number 3, the price of fast food. Okay, so I visited California on my trip, in the United States, and I don't go to fast food restaurants. Sometimes I do. I used to work at McDonald's when I was in high school, so sometimes I'll go there to get some chicken McNuggets fresh out of the vat with hot mustard, just because I love it. I love that taste, and I do that like once a year. But I went out with all my friends in California, and then we were coming home early in the evening, and I do love Taco Bell on occasion. So I said, "Hey, my buddy Sterling, hey, can you pull over to Taco Bell, and I'll buy Taco Bell for you and Katya and myself." He said, "Okay." So we go through the drive-thru, and I order 4 Burrito Supremes. I think I had a couple drinks, and then I think there was like another item, right? And I get the bill, and they $43. I go, holy crap! I just bought like 5 items and a drink. And I go, Sterling, give me that receipt. Let me look at it. They were charging $8 for a Burrito Supreme. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. The last time that I bought a Burrito Supreme, I was living in New Hampshire, and it was like $2.49. So, and I think the biggest reason why it's jumped so high, because in California, uh, Governor Newsom is forcing the fast food restaurants to pay their employees $20 an hour at a minimum. So they said, okay, if that's the case, we're going to jack up our prices. There's nothing we can do. So people started working, and then, the customers, they started not going to fast food restaurants, right? And now they have to lay off their employees because there's no work for them. There's no customers. So I don't know what they're going to do, but, it's really bad, especially in California. Now, here in Belarus, you can go get a doner. It's like a kebab, a wrap, a chicken wrap, where they cut it off the rotisserie, put some sauce in there, put some, whatever, tomatoes. You can get one that's the size of a Burrito Supreme at Taco Bell for like $1.50, right? If you want a big one that's like, they have them like 12 inches, 15, 18 inches. You can get them for $4, you're right? Equivalent. So, and the fast food restaurants that are here, they haven't gone up substantially. You can probably get a cheeseburger at Burger King for like $1.50, right? So, yeah, fast food, crazy. Number 2, property taxes. So, I've known that property taxes are quite high, especially in California. And they're kind of high in Idaho as well. So, when I went and visited my parents, my mom was complaining that her property taxes have gone up. They bought their land, and they had a house built on this kind of ranch. It's like 5 acres, and I think it was valued, I don't know exactly, maybe around 350. So her property taxes were, their property taxes were like, I don't know exactly, but like $100 a month, which comes out to about $1,200 a year, which is quite high. Now the price of their home and their property is skyrocketed because everybody's moving to Boise in Idaho, and so now the price of their home is almost tripled, right? So therefore, their property taxes have tripled, right? So if she was writing a check for $1,200, for a year, now she's writing a check for $3,600. It's crazy. So in California, I just got some figures here. It varies per county, but say you're in Alameda County, you pay 0.88% that's your tax rate. So if you have an $825,000 home, you're paying $7,200 a year just for your property taxes. And there's some counties that you're paying almost 1%. Actually, in Kern County, you're paying 1.23%. So on a $226,000 home, you're paying $2,700 a year, right? If your home's $1 million, you're paying over $10,000 a year just for property taxes. That's not including your homeowner's insurance, which you have to pay, and your mortgage, right? So it's crazy. Back here in Belarus, I just purchased a loft, this one right here, and just take a guess how much I pay in property taxes. I'm gonna give that like 10 seconds. Okay, you're probably wrong. I pay about $100 a year on property taxes. And it doesn't go up. If the price of my loft goes up, which it probably will, it stays the same. So I feel quite lucky being a homeowner in Belarus. I'm saving in property taxes. Okay, the number one difference that I noticed while visiting the United States, the bicyclists. So in the United States, the bicyclists are supposed to abide by the same rules as the motorists. They're not actually supposed to be on the sidewalk. They're actually supposed to be on the right side of the road, if they can't keep up with the traffic. But if they can keep up with the traffic, they can ride any lane just like a car or motorcycle, right? And they have to abide by the same rules. So if they run a red light or a stop sign, they can get a ticket, right? And they are supposed to do signals just like a motorist would do. If they don't have, brake lights or blinkers on their bicycle, they have to do hand signals. So if it's stop, your hand is down, up would be right, hand out would be left, right? So, if you're speeding, if it's a 25 in next to a school, and you're going 35, 40 miles an hour, you're going to get a speeding ticket. So yeah. Now, here in Belarus, I haven't seen one bicycle on the road. And I just looked it up. And bicycles are not to go on the road. They're to stay on the sidewalk. If there is no sidewalk, then they can go on the road. But they're supposed to be on the sidewalk. And most of these sidewalks are not adapted for bicyclists. So, many times I've been walking down the sidewalk, and I live here directly in the center, and so there's a lot of pedestrians walking, and then many times, like I'll walk to the gym in the mornings, I'll have a bicyclist just whiz by me. I'm probably walking 3 miles an hour. They're going like 30, 35 miles an hour. And they're weaving through the pedestrians, right? And I think it would be very easy if they just go onto the road. But according to Belarusian law, it's against the law for bicyclists to be on the road if there's a sidewalk. So I don't understand. Maybe that will change, but that's very unique for Europe, right? Most European countries have the same laws as the United States does. So I think that needs to change, because I'm sure people are getting run over. In the last year, I've almost been run over 2 or 3 times. And I mean, I'm walking and I'm just kind of, hey, look, I get hit by a 30-mile-an-hour bicyclist, I'm going to get seriously injured, right? So that's one change I know that they need to make here in Belarus. Okay, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this list that I created for you. Until next time, ciao.